Okay, welcome everyone. Today we're doing a deep dive into Psalm 64.
Great one. It really jumps right in, doesn't it? This voice making a complaint, asking God for protection from enemies.
Yeah, and it's not vague. It's this really urgent cry for help, specifically asking to be preserved from the dread of the enemy.
And the language used to describe those enemies, it's so vivid. It talks about the conspiracy of the wicked.
Right, and a noisy crowd of evildoers. It gives you this sense of um, deliberate collective plotting.
Exactly. Not just random trouble, but something organized.
And it gets specific about how they attack, not with, literal swords and shields initially.
No, it's their words. It says they sharpen their tongues like swords.
And aim their words like deadly arrows. That imagery is powerful language as a weapon.
A lethal one. And notice how they shoot from ambush at the blameless.
Ah, yes. Suddenly. Suddenly they shoot at him and do not fear.
That suddenness, that lack of fear, it speaks volumes about their methods. It's cowardly, really hitting someone unsuspecting.
And they seem to coordinate it. The text says they encourage each other in an evil plan.
They actively collaborate. They talk of laying snares secretly.
There's this real arrogance there too, isn't there? Thinking they're completely hidden.
Yes. Saying who can see them, like they're totally invisible, totally unaccountable.
They've thought it all through, or so they believe. They search out injustice, it says.
And they boast, we have devised a perfect plan. It's this insight into the calculation involved.
The psalm points to the source, the inner thought and heart of man being deep or cunning. The evil isn't just out there, it's hatched within.
Deeply planned, meticulously hidden, wielded with words, and full of self-confidence, it paints a pretty bleak picture for the target.
It really does. You feel that vulnerability.
But then just as you're feeling that weight, the psalm pivots dramatically.
Yes, this is the turning point. And interestingly, it uses parallel language.
Exactly. Remember the enemy shooting arrows.
Now it says, but God shoots his arrow at them. Suddenly they are wounded.
Suddenly. The same suddenness they used is turned back on them. God's arrow finds them.
And the consequences, well, perfectly fitting, almost poetic justice.
It really is. It says God will make their own tongues trip them up.
The very weapon they honed. Their words become their downfall. It leads to their ruin.
And people see it. Those who see them will shake their heads in scorn. The hidden plot is exposed, and the plotters are disgraced.
And that scorn then turns into something else, right? A kind of awe or fear.
Precisely. It says, then all mankind will fear. They will tell what God has wrought and ponder what he has done.
So the downfall of the wicked isn't just punishment, it's a revelation, a public demonstration of God's actions.
It shifts the focus from the schemers to divine justice.
Which leads perfectly into the final verses, the call to the righteous.
Right. After all that turmoil and the divine response, the conclusion is, let the righteous one rejoice in the Lord and take refuge in him.
And let all the upright in heart exult. So in the face of these hidden verbal attacks, the ultimate security and joy are found in God.
Finding refuge in him, praising him, that's the counter-narrative to the fear and conspiracy.
So listening to this today, what does this ancient text, bring up for you? Does it make you think differently about how words can be used, maybe the reality of threats we don't always see?
Or perhaps where genuine security really lies when things feel plotted against you.
And here's a final thought to maybe chew on. Think about that stark contrast. On one side, you have the enemies meticulously crafting their perfect plan in secret.
All that hidden effort and arrogance.
And on the other, you have the sudden, decisive, and public action attributed to God. What does that sharp contrast make you consider about human schemes versus divine intervention?